Hello and welcome to Shite, an Irish history podcast / interview series thing. Here's another one. We've got Richy Sheehy this time. He's a very funny comedian from Cork, and we were chatting to him about his rise to internet fame with the character Kevin Murphy, and the time he lived beside the number one suspect in the Sofia de Plantier murders, Ian Bailey. If you're over in Edinburgh for the Fringe Festival, Richie's doing a show there. There'll be a link for all of his stuff in the description of this episode, so you can click on that and go see him if you're over in Scotland. And if not, well, sure, enjoy the episode anyway. We'll chat to you soon.
Gather around now, you're in for a story. Old tales of lore, all in search of a glory. The history and mystery of lads, lasses and all. Discoveries and voyages, the rise and the fall. Follow me now as we go back in time. We trace the steps of Irish lineage to find. Joseph from Carlisle and Catherine the Dog guide you through the ways of Shite.
There was, and then there was Rudy and Addy, was it? The two brothers. One was Puma and one was Addy.
Yeah,
Addy,
Rudy
yeah.
Dassler, Addy Dassler.
Yeah.
What is it with German brothers and Aldi Little,
Yeah.
Rudy, Puma, Adolf, and the other fella?
Yeah. Arnold.
Arnold
Hitler.
Because Adidas used to be like, it's just tracksuits.
No one talks about Arnold Hitler.
Arnold Hitler.
Yeah.
What was his name? His brother's name? Alphonse or something? He lived in Dublin.
Arnold.
Was it? Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah.
It wasn't Arnold.
It was, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
You're thinking of the other famous Austrian.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Well,
It happens
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. He tried to terminate a few people as well.
did.
Yeah. What's the Holocaust denier's favourite month?
July.
July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that what that Monday song was about?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it was. Monday's actually...
July.
He's
why
a
you
raging anti-Semite.
That's why you don't see him around as much anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because he was a
They got
raging
him.
anti-Semite, but the truth is, it was one of those things where he was just jelly. Like, look at his hair. He was trying to grow the curls, and
I could
yeah.
not tell you what that man looks like.
He's got a big Jerry curl.
I think so.
Does
Yeah,
he?
I do get a mix up with Paddy Casey a lot.
I heard stories about him. I heard someone told me once that they were playing some gig that Monday was on right before them. And so it was like a load of different people. But there was a crafts food table. So they were like, oh, class, we'll have all of that when we get back off stage. But what had happened was Monday came off from doing his set, got a bag, took all of the craft food services and then left.
He did that. He was supporting Bob Geldof once, and he did that. And Geldof wrote that song about him. I don't like Mondays.
Oh, yeah.
That was about.
Yeah.
But right, yeah. So Adidas, that was what people like, because it's what like teenagers hanging around Temple Bar wore, but then also what like indie people in their late 20s and 30s wore, and people didn't know what to wear to stand out, which birthed the two new brands of Hood Rich. Have you seen those?
I have seen Hood Rich,
Hood Rich, and then the coffee and Coffee Plus Gym.
Oh.
Those are the two new Adidas Nike brands, and they're the two of the stupidest things.
Oh, God, I hate
We've gotten so
coffee.
stupid that it's just like, what, like, there's no, you can't have this. What did you call it? The
Trefoil, yeah.
whatever. People don't know what that is. It's French and stupid. What if you just
Trefoil.
said Hood Rich and then Coffee Plus Gym? Just keep it simple.
Hood Rich is too close to Hood Rat. You know what I mean?
That's how you
Yeah,
get
that's
Hood
what
rich.
it's about.
I'm rich in the hood. I'm like, it's like street smart. I'm Hood Rich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Hood Rich clothes are quite expensive.
I saw a guy wearing like a Jim and Coffee styled like jacket. It's the exact same logo, but it said Pub and Chipper.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
No, it's not. That's
It's
just
not
as bad.
good though, yeah.
No, but like, yeah, but it's... You'd hope that the person wearing it is mocking the whole
They
nonsense
are, but
of,
they are.
I'm Jim and Cat, shut up.
It's
then-
just so stupid. It's like, what is it that you want to identify as?
yeah.
Jim and coffee.
And Jim, yeah.
That's
boring.
not a fucking
I am so
lifestyle.
boring.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's because you go to the gym so you can work out to get over your anxiety, and then afterwards you have a load of coffee so you can get those anxiety levels back up to where you
Yeah.
need to go to the gym again.
That's true, yeah.
And it just works.
And then in between that, you can go about your normal corporate life,
Yeah.
selling your soul.
I see a lot of lads.
You put
wearing-
on your Hood Rich shirt, you go
yeah,
to work.
yeah. Hood Rich by day, Jim Coffee by night.
Yeah.
Which is, you'd think it'd be the other way around, but it's not.
No, it's fucking not. Yeah.
Playing up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim and Coffee. Who knows what'll be next? What if you? Yeah, what was like Jim? Wait, no. What was the guy's name from the Green Mile?
Mr.
John
Jingles.
Coffee.
John Coffee.
John plus coffee. Where's that T-shirt?
John plus coffee. That's
Yeah.
that's a great one.
That's
Let's make that. That's good.
John plus coffee, like the drink, only spelled different.
Yeah, John
My
Coffee.
name's John plus coffee.
That's fucking man. I'm telling you,
There
that's
go.
good.
Yeah. I don't know what the point of any of that was. Well, were you? No, that was if I was going to design another T-shirt, it'd be your logo, Umbro, but it was just like comma bro.
I actually was thinking of doing Umbro, but instead of it being Umbro, writing Mumbro. Because remember in the
Mumbro.
Irish listening, there was an
Yeah.
Irish listening comprehension, and it was like and Mumbro top.
Yeah. Mo Umbro top. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
do you
good.
know?
Mumbro.
Yeah.
Well, I still, like, is everyone else's Instagram just full of this now? Young ones with big tits. No, the everyone can just individually, because they have like what they call drop shipping, so you don't have to make the T-shirts in advance, but you just pay someone whenever an order comes through,
Yeah.
and they take like way more of the profits.
Yeah.
So everyone just comes up with a T-shirt concept and makes like an online store, and then no one buys it.
Yeah.
But then they keep popping up in my Instagram. Of like,
Yeah.
did I show you like the amber leaf? There's like a basketball jersey
yeah.
that has like 30 wrote on it, but like 30 grams for like the old amber leaf pack. And it's like, oh, that's good. I'm not spending 40 quid on it.
Yeah, because people have to put the price up so much because they're getting such a tiny little cut,
Yeah.
and no one's buying enough to make it profitable to keep it lower. Yeah, that to be honest, my feed is just completely dogs and cats, and then sometimes girls with big tits.
It's
And-
funny because I've got four.
To be honest, not anymore. It actually is just dogs and cats now, but like obviously I understand the way the algorithm works and that they see what you're giving attention to.
Yeah.
But there's definitely times where the algorithm is just trying to take a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
We fucking think.
But
And like there was a period where they got me because like usually I'm not gonna give attention on this to the sexy girls, you know.
Yeah.
But they got me. They started throwing at me sexy girls playing music, like playing guitar and
Okay.
thing, and it's like you fucking bastards, you got me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now you're sucked
I
in.
want to hear what she sounds like. I want to hear because
She could be the one.
yeah,
Just
because
DM
like
her.
when I was a kid, like my oh god, Andrea Corr from your fucking neck of the woods.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ, she had everything. Like she
Yeah.
like
We-
is
That's weird, 'cause
beautiful.
I grew up
and,
loving Jim Core.
yeah,
But I never really cared for the music.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I saw them I was at a gig recently, and the Corrs were standing in the crowd ahead of us.
Really,
Let me tell you, they still got it.
Fair play.
Now
Oh.
Jim wasn't there,
yeah.
but the rest of them.
I used to always
Sharon
get them
and Ray.
confused with Bewitched.
Yeah, that's because you're a simpleton with no taste.
Yeah.
Jim Core, Jim.
Owen Colgan
Jim-
had one of the best Facebook posts I've ever seen a few years ago, and it was like, if given the option of fucking all of the cores or none of the cores, I would fuck Jim second, because I would be so happy after fucking the first one that I would get through it quick. Whereas if I was to fuck him first, it would ruin the entire thing, and if I was to fuck him late, it would take too long because you'd have to spend too much time on Jim Core. And I was like, he's so right.
He's thought about
He's
that.
very.
now, yeah.
He was sat in that chair.
But I think everyone has thought about that.
Yeah,
About
Well, after
the-
you've mentioned it, yeah, now it's the only thing I'm going to think about for weeks.
that's true. What about instead of Jim plus coffee, Jim plus core? Get that T-shirt out there.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hardcore Jim Core. He's
Oh, what if Core's right?
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Jim Core is right.
Jim
Yeah.
Core's right.
Brewed in the mountains, the
I-
Rocky Mountains.
I
of
had a
Dundalk.
bit of a
Yeah.
Twitter spat with him a few years ago. So I consistently kept like tagging him and the other cores when I would write to Willie Nelson. And like, the thing is, I'm serious, but people think it's a joke. I kept
Yeah.
writing to Willie Nelson, asking would he do a cover of the cores, What Can I Do?
Yeah.
I think it would be like Johnny Cash when he did all those fucking covers and he did Hurt. Willie
yeah.
Nelson being like, what can I do to make you love me? And just like old man Willie Nelson singing that. It would
It'd be good. Yeah.
it would be one of the best covers ever.
Yeah.
So I was like, look, if I just keep tweeting Willie Nelson to do this, eventually he might do it. And
Sure.
I tagged Jim and I tagged the sisters, and there was a point anyway where Jim ended up popping at something, and I said, and we got into a bit of an argument, and it was funny because he made some comment against me that would like a kind of like a homo bashing comment, and I was like, I looked back at my page and I realised that like the last 5 things I retweeted, if you just looked onto my page, you'd definitely think I was gay because it was like different gay rights stuff. So I was like, this is funny. He's trying to get at me being like, you gay, you know what I mean? And then it was funny because I managed to weave it back and get back to like a nice, like, let's say, relationship with him where we weren't at odds anymore.
Yeah.
And we're joking about, like, you know, me coming up to his gaff and doing it got to the point where, like, Kevin Murphy ex Jim Core and us doing a song together, and then I made him hate me again right at the end, and I was just like, only if you bring the sisters.
Oh.
I had it out with. Well, no, I'm blocked by Brian Kennedy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've had him on Twitter with Spats. In college, he was tweeting photos of every season of a box set he had of Breaking Bad. But like then it's like he'd never seen the internet before.
Yeah.
Like he didn't know that instantly that was just going to be. So we just started commenting underneath individually, Hank dies, Walt dies. After just every, I know it's bad form, but like after every single post until he just one by one blocked all of us. But we must have ruined the entire thing for him.
That's awful.
Like he did the national anthem for me.
He did the national anthem.
It's badly. Yeah, he didn't actually know the words. He had to
Really?
like, read them off the. Because I guess he's from the north.
But
So-
most people wouldn't know the words. It's very normal.
To the Irish national anthem.
Yeah. It's very normal.
You are joking me.
Yeah. No,
How-
I am. That's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I definitely know all the words.
you kind of
Do you know the words?
You do this for a few minutes.
No.
The last 5 seconds, you go.
On Sligo. I'll be in Crow Park on Saturday. I'll try it.
I know all the
we've
words.
done it before on the podcast where we got through most of it. In the country, like it was like bed into us. We're in like primary school.
Yeah.
You just have to learn it.
Yeah.
It's on the back of our homework journals, so it was.
Was it? Yeah.
The Irish and English.
Yeah.
Just so that we know
Just so you
in
know.
English what we're fucking singing
What do you
about.
think the national anthem is? Cork is great. Cork is great.
He doesn't know anyone from Cork. He didn't know who Rory Gallagher was.
I know who Rory Gallagher is. I just didn't realise he was from Cork because his festival's in Donegal or up north somewhere.
Yeah, because he was born in Donegal, but he's in Cork since he was like 4. Do you know?
Yeah, we were saying he's one of those weird artists. I think he's bigger outside of Ireland than he is here.
Roy Gallagher.
Yeah. Like people,
True, yeah.
music nerds will fawn over him in the States because he's a big shred master.
Oh yeah, when I was
But
in
here-
Paris and I went met random people after a comedy gig, and then
Yeah.
we're going to a jam session. And they're like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Oh, we're in Ireland." I was like, "Cork," and they're like, "Oh, Roy Gallagher."
Yeah.
So like,
Which is, although I mean, I say it's not a big deal here. I literally just said there's a festival to him. It's
Yeah,
rare
yeah.
that- Like I can't. Are there any other artists where it's literally just that artist festival? I
Father
don't think
Ted.
so. Father Ted Fest. That's true.
yeah,
But no, Rory's pretty good. You don't really hear his stuff played as much as the likes of your Bonos or your Van Morrisons.
Or, as a tenuous segue, you're Kevin Murphy's.
yes,
Yeah, one of Cork's greatest artists.
Yeah, because you mentioned
Yeah.
it there a few minutes ago. I suppose we'll talk about that for a bit.
Yeah.
So you're Richy,
yeah.
but how many people in your life have thought that you were Kevin Murphy?
A lot of people.
Like,
Yeah.
Like people are almost like they don't have a concept of the internet and people playing.
I still get it.
characters.
Like I still get it. Like I've been in a fucking bar. Like,
I suppose
in
for the people who
Liverpool
don't know, do you want to explain what Kevin Murphy? Who
Yeah,
he
so
is?
I set up a hairstyling brand called Kevin Murphy, and it's become a global rip-roaring success.
Yeah.
You'll find our stuff in Boots and Dunn Stores and another various selection of shops.
Any car boot sale west of.
Any car boot sale, where you can also, if you talk to the right people standing at the side, they're going, "Do you want some blue movies?" You can also get some
Yeah,
VHS pornos.
Nice.
Yeah,
Class.
that's why the car boot sales are good.
Yeah.
Blue movies.
But so for our American listeners,
Smurfs 1,
Do you want
Smurfs
the
2.
blue? You want the blue movie? I actually, when I was like 11 and like I think it was Rathcormac or some fucking place there. I actually was at a caboose sale proposition to buy some blue movies when I was about 11. So
oh,
like,
of course.
Yeah.
Now there was a pub back home that a lad bought during like the height of right before the 2008 recession. So and it's where like all the underage parties used to be back home, like all the 16th, 17th, all the underagers there at the 18th, and it was just like absolutely wedged. So it was a gold mine. But then it was sold for like £1 million. That's what people said.
Yeah.
Just like a pub on a main road in Carlow, a 20-minute walk to the nearest town.
Yeah.
and then the recession hit, and it went from a gold mine to absolutely nothing.
Oh, I've seen that pub actually.
Yeah. You every time you drive by Bagnallstown, and so then one of the lads told me that he'd asked around. Then he's like, "What do you think we could do to get the pub being like popular again?" And he's like, "Oh well, back in the day, what they used to do of a Wednesday night, they'd have a movie night." And then so one of the lads went down, and he said it was a giant pull-down projector. 3 lads sat at the bar, and just someone having it lashed into her. Just blue movie night. Back in the day, every Wednesday, seemingly 50 lads just get away from the wife for a while. Hours gone down to the pub for a few quiet ones.
That is absolutely wild.
Jesus Christ.
What did this country used to be?
Well, my friend Aidan was he was over in Galway the other day. He was saying there was going to be the return, not of the blue movie nights, but country pubs out in the road whenever the AI starts driving our cars.
Oh,
it's back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Paddy's country
Self-driving
pub,
cars will all be drinking. There'll be a Healy Ray Bonanza. Drink driving. It's back, but this time it's legal. That'd be great, yeah, because there's so many of those country pubs out in the middle of nowhere that seem like great crack.
Yeah, they used to be great crack, but now
there's loads of them around Carlow, and it's sad. But also, why were you going out there? Like, why you? Like,
yeah.
back in the day, I don't know. Like, there was pubs in the towns anyway.
I heard
so
about.
why did they need to go out?
I'm trying to think. I think it was somewhere in Clare. I don't know. Was it when you told me? But I heard a guy had a pub, and he used to pay girls from Dublin to come down, and he'd have a mud wrestling match every week with these. And this is like some rural town, like that just had weekly mud wrestling matches.
That's
getting
great.
the girls from Dublin, like from the big smoke down.
Because
they have
They wouldn't have local girls doing that.
Yeah.
It's filthy. City girls.
Yeah.
They'd do anything.
Yeah.
You can get the Galway or Cork ones for about 70% of the price, but you have to treat yourself to, it's a once a month kind of thing.
Yeah,
you got to go all the way
yeah.
out. Yeah. Get them down from the big city.
Would you mud wrestle for money?
Would I mud wrestle for money?
Yeah.
Do anything for the right amount of money,
That's true.
Nearly anything.
Would you mud wrestle for the wrong amount of money?
And what is the wrong amount of money? Also,
No, I need a lot of money, I'd say. Depends who I'm mud wrestling too. Like, would I mud wrestle
Me.
Emily Ratajkowski? Yes.
yeah, Stephen Ryan.
No.
It's a callback to your show.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's funny that Vin Diesel is like a normal name, but like his name's Vincent Diesel.
Yeah.
That's a
What is his actual name?
Vincent
Vincent.
Diesel.
Vincent. Yeah.
It is not.
It is. His name's Vincent.
I'd say it
Diesel.
pisses him. I'd say his old friends that he doesn't really want to talk to anymore, and they're
Yeah.
like, Vincent, and he's like, shut up. You.
Vincent.
Vinny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vincent Diesel sounds like he just works down in the local petrol station, and he's heard all the jokes.
The local petrol say, Diesel, please.
Fucking Vincent Diesel, Diesel by name, Diesel by nature, Green. I actually watched the documentary. Well, not a documentary. He's an interesting life. He's a self-made actor.
Dickhead, I was going to, I don't know.
Yeah, he seems to be a bit of a
maybe
dickhead
he's not, but
now.
he seems like a dickhead anyway.
Yeah. But when he started off, he wrote and starred in a film about. He wasn't getting any roles because he was like half cast, which meant that he was not getting cast. He said he was too. He wrote a whole film about it.
Are you going to edit in like into that? Yeah.
Because then it turns out he ended up spending the rest of his life being typecast.
Yeah, but he brought the film to Cannes Film Festival, and then because of that, he got Saving Private Ryan, I think, or something. He got some huge film based off of his own sad film about how he was an actor, but he wasn't getting roles.
Fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, because we had some sort of a through line.
Yeah, we were on Kevin Murphy, and I fucking think so. Like Kevin Murphy,
He dodged the question.
Yeah, I know he did.
Yeah.
Kevin Murphy, fucking viral video Liverpool fan from Cork, a couple of years ago. It's a character that I play that is, I suppose, a very nice guy. He's
Let's just say that.
salt of the earth, lovely guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that blew up over the space of...
Yeah, it did. Yeah, but I would still get I remember I was in some random fucking bar in Liverpool, and this fucking guy comes up because people just think that I am this character.
Yeah.
And he comes up to me, he's like, "Look, Kevin, don't worry what anyone says. What you did from your bedroom." I literally was just like, "Oh, thanks, yeah, thanks so much." Like, 'cause at that point, it's like you're better off just pretending you're him. Cause it would take too long if I was to go, "Oh," then I have to explain. Oh, it's actually a character. So I sometimes just pretend to be him.
We were talking about Kevin McAleer earlier. Whenever he was interviewed in the Late Late or whatever years after his show, And he said they used to get complaints into the RT to be like, what you did to that poor young man, it's scandalous. The poor simpleton having him up there making a fool of himself. He played this like really like drawl, slow character. It's like, it's shocking, disgraceful, making fun of the poor fella.
Jesus.
I remember we were at the Cat Laughs a few years ago, and we were in the smoking area, Ryan's, and we were all just chatting. And some lad was stocious drunk, and he fell onto our table and like knocked over a load of glasses. And then he was like, "Oh, jeez, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I was like, are you your man from this? And he just like, no, he was too drunk to stand, but he could just like instantly see your face and be like, because you weren't dressed as a character. He was like,
is he like?
oh yeah,
that to me,
he
was
just
he?
saw you and he was like, are
okay.
you your man from the? Just he like had a cut like a come to Jesus moment, but
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
snapped back to sobriety instantly.
Yeah.
And that
Sure,
man's
lad.
name, Joanne McNally.
Are you going to get her in the podcast?
She turned us down.
Did she?
No,
We
she's
never-
coming in next.
No, we never asked.
No, we didn't
Okay.
ask.
She did turn us down, but we didn't ask her on the podcast.
Yeah, she
We made a move.
preemptively turned us down.
Yeah.
We emailed her and it just said, no chance.
Really, yeah.
No.
Wouldn't even know how to.
No, just an auto response. Hey, if you are anybody
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
getting through to an agent and knows him,
Yeah.
fuck off.
If you're on this list of people. I don't know. Yeah, I've done gigs with Joanne. I'm sure she remembers the old days. You never forget.
Yeah.
Upstairs in Unshaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other gigs with her too. She's been very sound.
Yeah. She's very funny, very sound. But what about?
I do remember. Well, you can keep that just because at the same time, the time of the Cat Laughs, I do remember that because of the Kevin thing, I got to play in that like 11-a-side match, and then I remember that they were down on players, and you were with me, and you came with me buying my boots and shit, and then I went in and talked to Carl Spain. And then he got ye on the team, so we all played that match.
Yeah.
And then I remember that in your podcast, you went on about how Carl Spain did it all for you. You made no mention of me. No fucking mention.
That is true.
No
actually.
Richie.
Written out of history.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You know.
And I remember that because this isn't the first time you've brought it up.
No, I brought it up. I brought it up to you right another time, but now I said, you know what? I'm going to say it on the podcast. So,
Yeah, you're right. Let's set
so
the record
everyone
straight.
else hears.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Actually, that episode, I don't even think it's on. I think
on the
behind
Patreon?
Patreon
Oh,
now.
okay.
Maybe, but no, you're right. You did. You sorted us out. You sorted us right out. I had no glasses and I was playing in goals for the Irish team.
You did well.
I did well. That child scored against me.
Like, I was terrible, but I am terrible as a football player.
Remember
so-
when David O'Doherty gave out to him because he kept telling him to kick the. Kevin was taking goal kicks out of his
Yeah.
hands and didn't realize that that's not a thing.
I don't understand the rules of the game.
Yeah, I
Oh.
never. He just kept asking off the deck,
Kick it off the deck.
off the deck. What could that mean?
What could that mean? I mean, we hadn't slept. We hadn't slept all night. We just woke
Yeah,
up.
you're just looking around for some decks somewhere, like
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to get me to
yeah.
hit these fucking.
We're not on a ship, O'Doherty. He's fucking. He's off his
Decks. It must
rocker.
be football term for kicking tee.
Yeah. Just boot it down the pitch.
He's quite serious about playing football, though, isn't he?
He is. He's
Yeah.
a big
Yeah.
five-a-side man.
They didn't do it this year. They think that's the first year.
Really?
They just
Yeah.
cancelled it. Not enough people care about kicking ball.
Oh, that's awful.
But,
That was a really good match, except for the thing at the end where O'Doherty brought Joe Rooney around the back and molested him.
yeah. That was talk about your fucking offside rule.
Yeah.
That was bad form.
Now, I don't know if that happened or if it was a fever dream,
In
but
fairness, we
Yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
slept a lot, so yeah.
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 who knows? Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly.
Joe Rooney wasn't even there that day.
I am not. He definitely wasn't, actually.
No.
Yeah.
But well, what's the? Yeah, I find it hard to wrap my head around football. What's the craziest thing you've gotten to do? Because you went all around the world after that video.
Well, I had a guy from the Mirror call me.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, this is Gully." He got my number because he was like dating the sister of a girl that I went to school with. So
Right.
That's fair
they
enough.
managed to make that connection, get my number. He called me and he was like, "Oh, I heard you're meeting the Liverpool team." I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "That's great." I'm like, "Cool. We'll send a camera crew along to film the experience for you." And I'm like, "No, like I'm not going to ask the club, oh, by the way, can I bring the Mirror newspaper along with me?" And I was like, "No, I don't think I wouldn't be willing to ask the club." And he's like, "Don't worry, we'll ask them for you." And I'm like, "No, I don't think you get no, I don't actually want to do this." And then he literally goes, "Okay, would you be willing to wear a GoPro on your head?" Like what? Like Oh yeah, he wants to like.
That's
Hi Mo,
genius.
hi Mo Salah. Don't mind the fact that I'm now wearing a helmet with a big GoPro. It's just for the UK Mirror tabloid newspaper. Fucking dickheads.
I think it's a genius tactic though. Just start out with like. Just tell someone they're doing something incredible.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, how about this then? And all of a sudden, you're negotiating.
He just thought that I was Kevin. Do you know what I mean? That's exactly
buddy.
it. Loads of people do when they're trying to negotiate. There's a few different Kevin things that are like. I mean, there was one guy who tried to pay me in cardboard. He
How did you get rid of all the cardboard?
well, yeah, exactly. No, because like. He basically gets
Egg on
onto
my
me.
face. The fucking market dropped after I got it.
I keep telling you to sell your stock before Halloween. He was selling cardboard cutouts, life-size cardboard cutouts of Mane, Salah and Firmino, and he was like, I think it would be great. This is for kids making their communion and confirmation, and I think it'd be great if we have a video of you in front of the cutouts singing the song. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, what's the crap? Like, how? Like, what are you offering for this? Like, and he was like, I can let you keep the cutouts.
Ooh, nice.
Man, that's good.
That's good.
I've been told that the big cutouts they have in the cinema, they don't even let the staff keep them.
Yeah.
So you're
So that's better than even a cinema worker.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a ball. Like, to be honest, I kind of didn't like the idea anyway of like doing that and selling his shit to kids. But then the fact that.
And then, pay you
but if you had
in
paid, you
cutouts.
would have been that's all right.
No, like depending
Well, I
on how
would have
much.
thought of it.
No, like
I'm gonna cut this part together with you saying like I'll do anything for the right amount of money. I do anything.
look, I'm allowed to be hypocritical when I'm
hell,
talking and
absolutely.
I'm delirious, you know, and just in general, because
That is true.
It's very hard to not be hypocritical.
I know it's easy to have like certain morals and standards until you're offered.
Yeah, until someone asks.
Yeah.
you.
Look, in fairness, at least it's nothing that's actually really nefarious.
Oh, yeah, you
It's
didn't do it bad,
selling
yeah.
things kids want to kids. There's one more thing I'll tell you. I was asked to do. I did two of them. They were like 2 days apart, and there was all in the same deal. First and two, and only two I will ever do. Junior discos. So appearances Kevin at junior disco, and
Lots of questions about this, but go on.
well, I'll tell you, the second one I did, which is the last one I did and I will ever do, the first one was actually kind of like, it was like end of primary school, I'd say, and I just had to go for like an hour and stand and take pictures with the kids, and it was just in some fucking random hall, grand, whatever. The second one was more of a fucking 14, 15, 16, fucking somewhere, Clare or Tip, and it was like there for a big night out, night again, stand for an hour and take pictures, but there was this fucking security guy that was like working for them that was probably sitting holding up, a big ginger lad, about 40, and he says to me at the start, he points out this fucking girl, he's probably like 14, and he's like, give her a couple of years, she'd be a ride. And like, this guy's also about 6'4". He's a big man, a big 40-year-old ginger man. And like, I'm just there being like, oh my God, the lads running the junior disco are fucking pedophiles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh my God, I've got competition.
It gets worse. It gets worse. I do the hour of standing thing for pictures, and then like as soon as my time's up, I'm like, I'm heading off. And he says to me, like, if you stay a bit longer, like they'd be up against the walls and everything. It's like a porno. And like literally, I obviously just like, well, I'm never doing a junior disco ever again. But then on like,
fucking nuts.
No, it's really bad. And then on like Friday, at the time I was resident in City Limits, so I was doing maybe 25, and like, I did about 12, 13, and I was just going really well and smooth, that I felt, do you know what, I'll just throw in something I've just been thinking of.
Yeah.
So I told them that.
Yeah.
And like,
He was there.
no, the atmosphere,
She was there.
The atmosphere in the room from City Limits, which is a much older crowd. Like, all these people are people that like have got a babysitter while they go out for the night, and like it changed it, and I was like, oh. And then I did manage to finish without them like hate. Like they didn't hate me, but they didn't like what they heard because they all have kids. And I came out, and Brian was just like, "Are you fucking?" Like, what is wrong with you that you just told all of them that their kids going to junior discos have
by
predators?
pedophiles.
Yeah,
Well, just the ones in Clare.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Or Tipperary.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
really?
I'll have to look up to find out exactly where it was. I think it was
Yeah.
Clare, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that it's actually so obvious that would be the case. But
I know when you said it's like the pedophiles are under the junior, is it that they would be
Yeah.
high on the list of applicants? I'd
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
do you know,
Yeah.
it's
That's
very
sick.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some of my Kevin Murphy stories.
You started off kind of light and fun. You went.
There's loads more too, but we have a short, limited time on the podcast.
It's funny that the mirror rang you. What if the sun rang you? That'd be better. Try and sneak you in there.
Oh, I mean, I put up a post straight away because I got messages from the Sun and
Really?
just told him to fuck off, and then I just put up a pinned post being like, yes, I'll do media interviews, blah 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 blah, but like not the Sun, fuck off. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
But then, so there's one other thing. Well, the main other thing we want to talk about. We'll chat about everything else, but so there was a French woman got murdered in the 80s. In
the 90s,
Cork.
was it?
Is it 90s? I thought it was the 80s. All right. So that happened. Sophie Toscan de Plantier.
Yeah,
Close enough.
That's close. Yeah.
No.
Plantier.
Yeah.
The police planted something to say that.
They sure did.
Yeah. Well,
Police were plantiering stuff.
So for the Americans who listen, we'll say we'll give a quick synopsis.
Yeah.
Kevin, what do you know about the story?
There was a woman that was murdered in Cork in the 90s, and no one really paid much attention to it.
All
And
that
then they
paedophile
found
stuff
out-
is going to seem so light now in
Yeah.
comparison to this.
But then they found out it was a French woman. And they were like, "Well, Jesus, we better look into this." And then there was like, it blew up a few years ago. I don't know why. There was like 2 different podcasts about it.
There was a bunch of documentaries as well.
Yeah, so there's the 2 documentaries. There's
like a big
the
unsolved
West
murder.
Cork. The thing is,
Yeah.
the reason why I might seem like a bad guest to get on for this is because I was a guy that was like deeply immersed in it. I was so fucking like, I didn't listen to West Cork. I didn't watch the 2 new podcasts, but I extensively researched it when I was living below one of the suspects that you haven't gone into yet.
Yeah.
I was living below him for a year, and then even up till about 2016. But then when the new stuff started coming out, I was like, do you know what? I've had a lot of this already. I don't need any more, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's because I've just started going back through JFK stuff, and it's been probably a good decade.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had a good separation from it, and now it's fun. So I'm like,
It's fun
going
again.
it's fun. I'm going on a deep dive, and I'm kind of picking up on other things because obviously some stuff would have come out in the last 10 years. Feck all really, but just like tiny little bits of like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But right, so
You can't pin any of that on Ian Bailey, though. He's a strong alibi.
the French would try.
Yeah.
He would, yeah.
Yeah.
France were extraditing Ian Bailey for blowing the head off John F. Kennedy.
for the Manson murders.
We just want to ask him some questions.
Where was he on 9/11?
Yeah. Probably getting away with murder. But so he was one of the chief suspects in the case.
Yeah.
And you lived below him while all of this was happening.
No, 2020, basically he went back and studied law in UCC.
Yeah.
And I was studying UCC, and he was living above me in the flat above me. And my friends were living across from him. So I had to experience that, and the main case had obviously stopped at this point, but then it reopened. I suppose I'll tell the story of, I was just having some fun with my friend John, and we were, things college people do, we were having some smokes, you're having a laugh. It was like 10:30, and then like we're having a great buzz, young and fresh, and then we just hear this coming from upstairs, and like John just points on. He's like, we were just like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. He was like wailing, crying upstairs, and like it was like, oh my god, this is like suspect in a murder case.
Yeah.
Wailing, crying. But then the next day,
Screaming bloody murder.
the next day it came out that it was the first time that it came out that France were trying to extradite him. So obviously he had just heard that.
Yeah.
And that was chilling. I'm not gonna lie, that was fucking chilling.
Yeah.
Nice enough
In fairness,
fella,
though, he's big and English, so no wonder the guards. The guards in fucking West Cork and Skull or whatever, they'd be like, well,
It's all of
he's
there's
a
a lot
big
of
man and he's English.
There's been a lot of stories
Case
over the
closed.
past like 40, 50 years of things coming out of like the Garda corruption.
Yeah,
of
sure. In
just,
fairness, they'd probably pin the Kerry Babies case on him too.
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, that came out like a couple of months ago, didn't it? That they found out.
Oh yeah, well now they're the last I heard was that they were like talking to some couple in their 60s that they think might have been.
Yeah, the DNA matched up.
Did it match?
Wasn't that the... Yeah, because
Was that how? That's how?
Yeah, a few weeks ago they were like, and it's a couple and the age matches up. But at the time they were just like, just pinned it on some other woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was she English?
No, but she was unmarried, even worse.
Yeah.
And the right, like when you go into the Garda station, it just goes unmarried woman, English, Protestant,
Yeah. Exactly.
chief suspects,
Yeah.
line them up. So yeah, I mean, it's
We're putting out an APB. What's your description, boss? It says a woman without a ring on her finger.
the suspect is Protestant. I repeat, Protestant.
She had a kid out of wedlock. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So therefore, she was a chief suspect in every child murder in the Munster area. But so it's not unreasonable to assume that they might have.
Like the thing is, look,
a bit.
I don't know if Ian Bailey's innocent or not. I really don't. I mean, he definitely is wild. He's an insane character. Definitely doesn't help himself. Like, I'm no fucking I know a lot of people say he's a grandiose narcissist, and he probably is. Like, did he get like a typewriter that was like Samuel Beckett's typewriter and just dumped it in his garden, and
it's overgrown with weeds.
It's some type of weird installation art piece. It's like, what kind of guy does that? And his poetry. Oh my God, his poetry! Like, there was one that it was like,
I don't want to talk bad about a man's art.
It was a girl on a
it's pretty
train.
shit.
It was him sitting across from a girl on a train, and he was like, "Oh, you're reading Cosmo, but it would be nice if it was
Be nice if I murdered you."
Yeah, did you ever read the one about the one he's like walking around a dark road at nighttime and he crashes this big slab of concrete off a French woman's head? It's
that was a good
it was
one.
interesting. It felt personal. It was kind of, he really seemed to open up a different element of his artistry.
Did he did stand up for a while? Did he?
He goes to watch.
Did he?
stand-up.
Yeah.
He goes to. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Down in wherever he is now.
Yeah.
Sure, he never left, did he?
There was one point that I get woken up at 4 a.m. in the morning with boom, boom, boom on my door, and as I walk out, I literally see the fucking, because we had a light, the shadow of a big. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, it's hardly, and then I open the door and it's Ian Bailey. Like, you know what I mean? I was absolutely shitting it. Like, I thought he was coming to murder me. Like, you know. And like, he was like, "Oh, I've an exam in the morning, and can you please turn the music down?" And I was just really stupid, and I was like, I just got out of bed. I'm not playing any music. See ya. Close the door. And then I realised that what really happened was my friends John and Eb that were living across from him, Ian knew that we were best friends, and he wouldn't feel comfortable going into their big gaff party with like 20 Prez and Christians lads and being like, "Oh, Ian Bailey, can you turn it down?" So he thought I would do him a solid. That he'd come down to me, and then I would help him out. And I actually could have put my life in danger by going, "No," you know what I mean?
No, well, you can't.
But I didn't think about it until about 10 minutes later, and I was lying in bed. I was like, well, fuck. Okay. You know.
Well, he seems like a reasonable man.
Like, you know what? Like, I mean, a friend of mine, Rob, has had talks with him and shit, and he's apparently great. Look, there's definitely a possibility that his entire life has been ruined. By a false allegation, and like, it's really hard to know. I didn't watch the 2 new documentaries. I've friends that did, that would have been as much into the case as I was before, and like, they told me that the Netflix one is like absolute lies and nonsense, and there's loads of stuff taken out, and it's to the point where it makes you question anything then you watch on. Because like, one of my friends, the lad that was with me that night, was telling me that like the Netflix one is so much like fiction in it, or just like things not showing context. And when you hear that, you're like, shit, I was pretty sure in Making a Murderer that those guys are innocent. But if Netflix are doing this to a case then that I know about, I heard that Jim Sheridan one was a lot more true.
It was better, but it was also interesting. I don't know why he decided to put himself in it so much, that there's just a lot of shots of him looking wistfully out into like the ocean. Yeah,
really?
He's just walking around looking like, she may have stood here at some point in her life.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We can't know for sure.
Are we getting into the conspiracies of what we think happened now? Because I remember there was a documentary maker with a double barrel surname that I was living in Amsterdam, but he did, I think it was just called fucking, I can't even remember what the fuck name was, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. But it was, he did a documentary that was on RTE, it was maybe like an hour long, and he was doing like a live tweeting kind of session during it, and he was basically saying, look, we didn't have enough time to really show anything. We were trying to do a balance of both sides, because he had like her family on and stuff. But then he was like, but actually, and he was like, his live tweeting session was like, oh fuck, and he was saying there was like 40 leads that the guards didn't follow up, and there was sightings of, there's suspicious sightings, and I mean, you've got obviously the Duplantier family, so friends with like Jacques Chirac, and there's a question of like, oh, she was promiscuous and he sent to hit her husband, and going through a rough patch, and he sent a hit on her. That's possible. The guard's losing a gate with 5 spots of blood in it. Could have been a guard, or it could have been a friend of a guard.
Yeah.
Or I mean, at the end of the day, the guards.
Imagine how raging you'd be though. You get back to the police station and you check your pockets and you're like, fuck, I must have dropped the gate somewhere.
Bollocks.
I don't know where I would have fucking. Where would I?
It's like there's blood on the gate.
Where's the last place you left it? I honestly, I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like the one thing really is like you'd really want to be like blood, like because there's no DNA evidence linking him as I'm actually certain there is no DNA evidence linking him, and like I don't know, like the guards. So they blackmailed that lad that's now dead. That like drug dealing lad.
Yeah,
gave him a block of hash to lie.
That is a great story though. Just a man. Is he like a hippie? I guess he moved away and lived on a boat in England for years. So I was thinking for a second he lived in a boat down in Cork. But they gave him a load of hash and said, go up there, get him high, and wear a wire and get him to admit to it. And so he said that he might have admitted to it, but when he didn't have the wire on.
Yeah,
at first, but then he recounted on that, and it just like it kept going back and forth. And when I was listening to him talk, I'm like, this man just really wants free hash.
Exactly. I think he did say it, and I'm gonna need to go undercover again.
Give me the
good stuff. Actually, he loves speed. Give me some speed.
Yeah.
He was right on the edge. I would say I would have had him 24 pack of Galahad. If there was a 24 pack of Galahad just hanging around, I'd say, because it was on the tip of his tongue.
Yeah.
And then
you had to eat back there.
Yeah. Should have had like then Marie Farrell. They basically blackmailed her. Like she was the first like main witness, and they blackmailed her because they knew that she was having an affair, and they were like, unless you fucking lie for us, we're gonna reveal your affair. So she initially testifies that shit, then she recants it and admits she was blackmailed. And then the French use her initial statement in their case, and like that they
her fella though, because I think they're still together, the husband. And so she's like, I never said, I saw you, but I don't want to say who I was with, and I never will. And that's like that man. I would want to know more. I'd want to know more than who killed Sophie Descant Duplantier. Like everyone else is like, who possibly did it? And he's like, I know who fucking.
Who did do that?
Well, because that's a terrifying story. Because they send she has a wire when she's working, but it's in an ice cream shop, and he goes in, and it's like the way they talk about it, it's very tense. Like he's a giant man, so he's kind of like towering over.
He's a big man. And Jesus Christ,
he could come across as threatening because he's English. But like all of that, but set against the backdrop of just a Cork ice cream shop, and they're like the cops are all looking outside, going, "We gotta go in. We gotta save her. We gotta save her. We gotta save her." Yeah. He's gonna get all the pistachio.
There was
a 99 boy.
There's a point where like so I was with two lads at the time back in the day. I used to be a drug policy activist, so I used to like organise legalised cannabis marches, which is wild because I don't smoke anymore. But I'll always defend it. I'll always defend weed. I'll always defend it.
It had nothing to do with Sophia Descant Duplantier.
Weed is innocent. I will always
free. That's what I've been saying for years.
Yeah, I always defend weed. Don't smoke it anymore, but sometimes maybe. But yeah, so me and the two of the other lads that were like the drug policy activist guys, we're in my fucking gas. So I'm on the bottom floor. We're making a poster for a cannabis march, and a guard car comes and pulls right outside our window. Like we have a blind, like, but we're freaked because we're also high and we're paranoid. We're like, oh my god, the guards are here, waiting, you know. And we're like, and then they just stayed there for like an hour and a half, and then left. And for ages, I was like, were they fucking monitoring us? And then I was like, they were intimidating Bailey is what they were doing.
Yeah.
They were like, let's just let that Englishman know we're still here. And that's what I fucking, like, I know there are good guards, but there are guards that fucking go on fucking Magazine Road and just camp out there for an hour and a half to intimidate Ian Bailey, like 20 years after the case. And that's literally what they did. They sat in the fucking car.
Yeah. But I'm picturing Ian Bailey upstairs though, be like, there are 3 marijuana activists downstairs. I need the drug squad here ASAP. Thank you, officers. You've been awful helpful.
There's a party next door. I can't go in. I've gone to their friend. He's downstairs. He's not helping.
There was music, I swear, it would wake an elephant, and I asked him, and he said there's nothing playing. He went back to bed.
So I started crying.
He went,
Wailing upstairs. Not even so much as a knock on the door. How are you doing, Mr. Bailey from the boys? Scandalous.
yeah. No, I know I'm actually defending him. Maybe he was the one calling the guards on us. Who knows? Maybe the guards have him. Maybe the guards actually know he did do it, but they're like, look, if you keep ratting out these weed dealers to us, you know what I mean?
He rats out the weed dealers, they get the weed and then give it to someone else.
Yeah.
To try and get him to confess.
It's a great.
Yeah,
Beautiful
exactly.
cycle.
And they're like, but we actually have a confession. And things like, yeah, no, but if you do it this way, we'll get the confession. It's like, but we have the confession. I wouldn't be surprised, man. The Irish po-po.
Yeah.
Bro.
I've been watching season 1 of The Wire, boy. This is how we get them.
Yeah, exactly.
Give you
Fucking
2
hell.
bricks of hash and a Nokia. I'll have them by the end of the week.
A West Cork dubbed version of The Wire.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Equally incomprehensible for first-time viewers.
Yeah, exactly. So do you
Yeah.
think he did it?
West Cork.
I've seen most of the documentaries. I've not done too much sleuthing just on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, they go off of like the documentary bits, I know, and like the West Cork podcast is very good. They kind of lay it out of all of the bits of maybe why he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And there's enough there to be like, surely there should be some other suspects. There should be like one. If he does, there's not enough on him for the entire country to categorically be like, it's definitely that man.
Yeah.
Because when I remember, I didn't know anything about it until a few years ago, whenever that podcast came out, the West Cork.
Yeah.
I remember listening to 2 episodes and I went downstairs and I said to my ma, and I was like, do you know this story about a woman in Cork that got murdered years ago? And she was like, Sophie Descantaplante, the person who did it was Ian Bailey. I was like, oh, so everyone just knows, and then but none of the facts.
Yeah,
of, like,
yeah,
the actual
no, like
case.
everyone knows. I mean, there was urban legends soon, and people were like, oh, but actually he went on the crime scene as a journalist, and then they couldn't say if the DNA was there because of that. And like, that's not true at all.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
just an urban legend. Like, when I was in college, I knew a girl that was like from there, and she was just like typical Irish bullshit of, no, we all know. Okay,
Yeah.
what do you know? Like, no, we all know down there. You know, it's pure fucking muck savage nonsense Irish country shit. You know what I mean? Like, basically, yeah, we all judge down there because we had fucking black and white TV until 92, so we just sit around as families and fucking talk about people. And they're like, yeah, no, we all know down there. It's like, well, tell me anything so that
He was
that
English.
shows his guilt. That's exactly what it is. It was
But
like,
then-
Englishman.
But like listening
know?
to the podcast that they. Like West Cork, there's so many British people who move over and retire there that like they try and set it up as like in a place where the English wouldn't well be liked, and then it's like, that man Ian Bailey wouldn't be well liked down around here. it's 90% English people
It
talking
was
about.
all like, I heard it was all like off-grade hippie fucking
Yeah, that's most of West Cork.
artsy
is
kind of,
just,
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, why wouldn't you leave? Well, rent got expensive. Like,
But it's I hate that you were saying a bit about earlier on when you watch like Netflix murder documentaries or podcast series and you're getting up to the end and like they're really painting one guy and you're like, oh, the fucking evidence is there.
Yeah.
It's all, and at the end they're like, yeah, and the DNA evidence didn't match. You're like, well then what the fuck have we been talking about for 6 hours?
No,
And it's like, yeah, the one thing that we have blood from the scene of the crime and it didn't match the main suspect, but we're still pretty sure it's him.
the
No,
worst
I
one-
fucking know, man. I was watching this stupid fucking thing
you-
about some like
the Jinx. was it?
aliens and so, like not aliens. It was time travelers that were typing on a typewriter into a computer in the mid '80s.
Yeah.
and it was like maybe watch it for about 20 minutes, and it was like, this can't be real. Like something from like some guy from the 1600s typing to someone from like 1985,
Yeah.
and then someone from 2111, and at the end of it, it was like. And yeah, actually, then did like this proved that it was definitely all bullshit. And it's the type of thing that if you went onto the Wikipedia page, you just go, oh, okay,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
nonsense.
yeah.
But it brings you to 20 minutes of this shit where you're getting your hopes up.
Yeah,
being like,
Well,
"Ooh."
I would have been like, wait, why are aliens using typewriters?
Yeah.
They've got spaceships, so they
Well, you
haven't
know what
figured
they
out
say,
computers yet.
fucking you, unlimited aliens, unlimited typewriters.
You'll catch Ian Bailey.
Yeah,
You'll write George
we'll
of the
fucking
Jungle.
get his confession one
Yeah,
way or
yeah.
another.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about the case.
I saw an amazing tweet, but it's from a comedian we both know, and I don't know if it's fair to. I suppose it is
This
it?
is Roger.
No, it was a Danny Ryan tweet about
Oh, yeah.
Ian Bailey.
Oh,
It was
go on.
fantastic. It was like whatever about the potential murder. Ian Bailey should be extradited to space for his poems, and like he just put up a picture of one of his poems, like, and it was just fucking brilliant. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was- His poems are so shockingly bad. Like.
Oh yeah, and then the stories of like, because he obviously, that's what they say, he didn't help himself, because he's walking into pubs where everyone's just having chats or sing songs, and then going in and trying to do poetry recitals.
You know that like you could he would come on this like.
Yeah.
Oh, he would. Yeah.
Oh, he
seems
definitely
to
would.
like. Yeah.
It would be very.
The attention.
You'd feel Garrett, because he's a big man.
He'll listen to this probably. Hi, Ian. You're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I know.
For Kevin to go down to your gaff and interview you.
In fairness, I don't think I'm. Because he'd probably be like, that bastard. But I think I'm being fair. I think I'm being grand.
No, yeah, I think
I actually kind of think he's innocent, but I obviously don't have a fucking clue.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was one thing that I definitely should have researched this shit again before I'm going on a podcast. But it's called Shite Talk, so I can have wrong facts.
With the big thing, because you can explain away, like, say, cuts on the hand. He's like, I was cutting a Christmas tree, or there's there's something for everything. But
it was the middle of the July year.
But when they're like, he showed up a couple of minutes after the guards went out there, without knowing the location of the crime scene.
Yeah.
So like that's what they say, but he's like, no, I found out about before and someone called, but they couldn't prove that. And they were like, no, we got there and he got there like 5 to 10 minutes after, but they like, that's when he was working as a journalist. So he was like reporting on the case at the same time.
With
so
the
like,
or something.
Or
the examiner or something.
But then even when they were like, no, you're a suspect, and he kept reporting on the case like while he was a suspect, that's
there are
really weird.
no leads.
It's definitely
Stone Cold whodunit.
It's an Irishman.
Like, does this ring any bells to you when you're looking up stuff? Am I right in thinking, was there like a spot of blood that was in like her sandal or her shoe that is not hers and it's not his, so it's someone else's? I'm pretty sure that's.
Oh, maybe.
And like, because that was the one thing that I was just like, well, if that's true, then he's obviously innocent.
Yeah. Well, because like, the Irish media, because Ireland would have been so conservative at the time that they really painted her out to be, because she was like she was a mother and a wife, and she went away for like Christmas / getting up to the New Year, and it was well known that she had affairs, and like it's very French, that idea of 5 to 7.
Oh, it's very
like
French.
Just
having affairs.
It's so French. Cigarettes and affairs. That's my
adultery
coffee and gym. Cigarettes and affairs.
I'm a French. I like adultery and revolutions. You know?
The proletariat shall not be the only thing that rises.
Because having an affair.
I don't know what accent that was.
Yeah, no, mine was shocking too. My French accent was terribly shocking there. I was like, went into myself.
Having an affair is just like going on strike from your relationship, which is very on brand.
What about it's hard. Well, like all I'll say, because Ian might actually, and he probably will be listening to this. Like, in fact, he definitely will.
He definitely Googles his name.
In fairness,
every couple of weeks.
He actually was sound anytime I met him. Like, to be, and this actually is being sincere, despite me just going, oh, Ian Bailey's going to be listening to this. I'm moving back to Cork. He was very sound anytime I actually met him and had any dealings with him. I have obviously, you hear loads of stories, but like, what are tales and what are true? He's definitely eccentric.
But down in Cork, what do people think about? Like, what's the overriding?
I think up until maybe 2010, it was like 95% just guilty, and then I think like with social media and more, like now I think it's 50-50 now. I think there's quite a lot of people that are like, no, those fucking guards absolutely framed him.
I wonder,
both.
Deathbed confession. That'd be a good way to go. Do you reckon when he's on?
And then they're like, we've just found a cure.
Yeah. He's just, I shot JFK.
They got away with it too. Oh wait, this machine wasn't on. Boop.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're going to inject you with these stem cells. You're going to live for 200 years.
Yeah. What, the guys in the cancer lab just been like, carry the one, of course.
Yeah.
We've done it, Mr. Bailey, just in time. Yeah.
All right. Poor Ian.
Look, in fairness, it must be like, I do actually feel for him the fact that like he can't leave the country because France will fucking
you've a good history of we haven't got another 2 hours to record this, but what have you got any opinions about Michael Jackson?
We can do a full podcast on it if you want. Another point. Look, Michael Jackson is definitely innocent. I mean, I think Ian Bailey's probably innocent, but I don't know. I'd love if it was resolved. I
Ian
would
Bailey,
love if they
probably
found
innocent. Michael Jackson, definitely.
Jackson definitely innocent. I don't really know about Ian Bailey. What else? Any final words? I suppose my Worst Bond podcast. At Comedy Death Stories. And at me, I am at Richy Sheehy, RECHYSHEEHY. I think that's all I gotta say. But thank you very much. I've enjoyed this podcast. It's an honor
Pleasure.
to be on.
It's great to have you
God is.
You sound like there's a gun trained on you here.
I was going to say, it's kind of like how, Irish people say goodbye on the phone. Where it's like, bye-bye, bye-bye,
Yeah.
bye-bye. That's just how we end podcasts.
Yeah.
The 5 minutes of saying, we'll wrap up. And we'll
God
we're
is
done
watching
now,
us.
and any
That
last
is actually
bits,
true,
you
yeah.
kind of nearly, should we... Or
Yeah.
anything else? Do you want to plug anything? Do you want to
Should
kind of... Is there anything to say? It's like the Return of the King. We're going to end this thing like 4 times.
Yeah, I liked all the endings.
And I was just done.
Is it done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.